The Kashmir Martyrs Day, Youme Shuhada-e-Kashmir, is observed on 13th of July every year, not only on both sides of line of control, but also all over the world by Kashmiris who pay homage to 22 Kashmiris who were martyred in 1931 to free Kashmir from brutalities of despotic Dogra rulers. The tragic day is a milestone in history of Kashmiri struggle against foreign occupation. It was a revolt against atrocities on 13th July 1931 when people rose against the atrocious Dogra rule and protested against the prosecutions of sympathizers of Kashmir's struggle. 83 years on, and Raja Nijabat Hussain of Jammu and Kashmir's self-determination movement European branch has revived the struggle once started by Abdul Qadir Khan Ghazi, gaining momentum and support from elected members of the European Parliament.
I was so excited that you're here, that you have an absolute commitment from me, and you know that to work very closely with you in my region.
I, as you rightly say, have been supporting the cause of the Kashmiri people for at least 25 years, I think. Certainly 25 years now. And my support obviously is there, you know that, and it will continue.
To see you here in the European Parliament, and I'm especially pleased to welcome the Kashmiri women. I think you are doing a fantastic job. I really commend your work, and I'm very keen to do whatever I can to support.
Not new to this issue. In fact, I always say that the blood that runs in my veins actually is from a Kashmiri mother. So the cause of Kashmir is very close to my heart.
In the European Parliament, Afzal and myself and others will come together. We will join the Kashmir Intergroup and other groups working on other conflict situations. It's particularly important, I think, for the Kashmir group that those of us elected in this country play a major role, because our colleagues from other European Union countries aren't always as aware as we would like them to be of the intricacies of the history and of the reality of the situation in Kashmir. So you can rest assured that we will do our bit at that level to do what we can. And if we can get the European Union as a whole to be more aware, to take action, to use the clout that the European Union has as an entity in world trade talks, in bilateral trade talks, in foreign policy and security policy, when we act together, when we can get our countries to adopt an agreed position, then we may be able to do more than we otherwise would just acting alone simply as Britain. We will do our best to achieve that. Thank you very much.
Now, we've got to do something about this, and we've got to actually bring about a change in our government's own test of itself in terms of British values. There is an obligation on us. One of the things that the government will often tell us is that they can't go into this because these are sovereign states. But a number of things link both Palestine and what's happening in Kashmir. And that's British hands are all over it. We created these situations which we then walked away from.
What I would like to say is the time is over for us to shed tears. The time is over for us to rely on others. We must take our destiny in our own hands. And I urge you all to educate yourself. In spite of whatever your age is, you can never stop. And your children are your future. Educate them so they can take the cause forward. The cause of Kashmir, the cause of Palestine, the cause of Burma. Muslims are being persecuted there as well. You can't rely on other people, you've got to do it yourself.
The message of 13th of July is the fight for human is just and right. This tragic day is a milestone in the history of the Kashmiri struggle against foreign occupation, which is continuing today under the Indian rule. We often look at problems. However, let us look for solutions The problem was created by our nation, then the British Raj, and the solution lies with them and us. Our role is to shed light on the human rights situations happening in the world. We propagate that Allah is the same God for all faiths, and human rights is no option. It belongs to and is fundamental to every human born, regardless of colour, creed or religion, Palestinian, Kashmiri, Syrian or other. With the help of Allah, the revolution has started. When our political friends from both Muslim and the wider community are beginning to discuss this in Parliament now, inshallah, we will get there.
The Bradford Kashmiri community commemorated the 13th of July, remembering the great martyrs of Kashmir, and complimented Raja Najabat Hussain for his determination and commitment in working tirelessly on the human rights issue of Jammu and Kashmir, which will be finally tabled in the UK and the European Parliament. I'm Mohammed Salim reporting on behalf of Jammu and Kashmir Self-Determination Movement, Europe.